Hi there. In this video we are going to be taking a look at this Philips soundbar. The model is B5105 and I have my daughters helping me right here. Okay, so in theory easy to connect, will be the judge of that. Flexible placement, TV table, the wall or any flat surface. It has Bluetooth and my TV has Bluetooth, so hopefully maybe we will use Bluetooth to connect them. But it has Hdmi Arc, that is great. Optical in, I'm not even sure if my TV has optical out, so we'll be seeing about that. And auxiliary in, for sure everything has that. Just want to mention something about this from the start. This is about 30 watts and as you can see in here, this is not meant for huge TVs. The TV, I think it's about the same size as this. So if you have a TV that's almost 2 meters in diagonal or something like that, this thing, obviously it's not the product for it. Get something better with a dedicated subwoofer and something like that. But I needed something to make me able, daughters once again, to basically watch YouTube videos and not much more than that, because the current speakers in my TV, which is an older Philips model, just don't cover a bigger room enough. In theory they are decent, it even has a tiny subwoofer inside of it, but in a bigger room it's just not enough. I need to crank the volume way high and then it's annoying, but still not covering properly the room, and yeah. So this doesn't have a subwoofer. Once again, this just has 2 speakers that are doing everything, 2 full ranges. So in terms of quality of the sound, presumably it will not be the greatest, so take that into consideration when buying it. Let's get to unboxing this little thing, and it was about $50 or something like that, so it was cheap enough for me to take a gamble and see if it helps my TV with anything, and if it doesn't, it's going back. You know, it's a small and small and quite weak product when you have this thing which only outputs 24 watts. So that's the absolute maximum that this thing can output. So the power output from the speakers of this thing can never be more than that. And taking all the losses into consideration, presumably the output is way lower than that. Presumably even under 20 watts. And I need to have a chat with my daughter because she's trying to cover my voice. Just wanted to show you the full model number in case you need it. Inside this we have the wall fixing elements, because this thing is wall mountable, as I said, the tiny remote for it, and 2 Philips batteries, and obviously some manuals which I will just take a quick look at. And again, this thing, if you want to see its specs, quite weak honestly. But hopefully this will make more sound than my TV, and I will use them in parallel. So even the speakers from my TV in theory will be working, and this will also be working. So I'm not stopping my speakers in my TV. This is just to help it, to say like that. Okay, this is... the speakers are tiny, so three of my fingers are bigger than the diameter of these speakers. Then bus reflex port. In here we have just the receiver for the remote and a tiny speaker at the other side, and another, wait, no, one of them doesn't have bus reflex output, doesn't have it, so only one of them. Presumably this is actually for both of them somehow. That's a bit weird. But anyway, overall the weight of it seems decent, so it's not really light, it doesn't give the feel of a weak product. So DC in, optical auxiliary, service is covered, and HDMI with Arc. Let's see, let me turn this around and take a good look at the label on it. Power consumption 15 watts. So we are even below 15 watts at this point. This thing is really weak, but the difference from my TV, it's front firing. My TV is firing the speakers through the wall at the back, and in the position where it is now, it's not good. And it has this foam, so it will stay on it when you put it down on a flat surface. Let's power it on. Hopefully it's enough, because yeah, I'm basically not impressed at all, but I wasn't expecting much more than this. Apart from the speakers, I was hoping it has some oval speakers, at least twice the size of these things, but the reality is that I've seen speakers this size output a good amount of sound and clear sound, so depending on what they used, maybe I'm lucky. So let's power this thing on and see how I can pair it with my TV. Okay, so these two are just random safety information and I think warranty information in here. So those are basically almost useless. Let's go in the quick start guide. I was hoping to find some real specs somewhere about the speakers at least, or something, maybe in here if we're lucky. Okay, so here it's showing us everything that we got. We went through those already. How to position it if you are putting it on a wall or on a flat surface, how to attach it to the wall, and where it the plastics actually connect onto it. We will not be using that. Daughter's pulling on this piece of paper. Fun and joy of having kids. These are the connections. Everything right in the middle, obviously. On the back of it, I showed you that. If you need optical for a game console, for example, or for a PC, yes, you need to buy the optical cable. Ooh, and my hand is really shaky today. Sorry about that. So again, optical, you can also connect it to the TV. I might have optical on my TV, but I don't have an optical cable, so that's not going to be it. Can connect it to the auxiliary in if needed, or HDMI with Arc. Presumably that will be the one that we will use. Let's see what other variants we have in here. No, it's actually telling us what to do. So plug it into the soundbar, put the batteries in the remote, power it on. Switch to optical if we have optical, and we need to switch to PCM optical format in the TV itself. Let's see, 7. If you want to play MP3s from a player, we switch to aux in, yes. If we want Bluetooth, that's the frequency, maximum 10 meters from whatever we are playing onto this thing from. So basically in the same room, that's the main idea. And HDMI Arc, self-explanatory, the other button. Again, set it to PCM. And that's about it. That's all she wrote. So I have no clue how to connect it to Bluetooth to my TV, although my TV has Bluetooth. So I will be digging into some menus now. This thing is plugged in. The cable, the power cable, I think it has about 1 meter, maybe just a bit over 1 meter. So take that into consideration. And we have this power LED when this thing is in standby. Philips and Philips. That's one of the reasons I bought this, honestly, because there was another one just a tiny bit more expensive, but I said, hey, Philips, Bluetooth, maybe they work together, so I don't need any cables. I'm not even removing the wrap from the original Philips batteries. I'm putting some Bar TABs in, just in case I'm not liking how this thing performs, and sending it back. Again, I don't need to listen to music. I don't want high volumes of sound effects during films. I just want to be able to watch YouTube and hear what the people in the videos are talking. And with this thing, firing right back into a wall like that. I cannot basically hear what people are saying. I do hear sound effects and that, but the voice is not really. So hopefully this with front-facing speakers will help with the voices. So let's power this thing on. And it's on, green LED. So now I'm going to play around in the menu of the TV and see if I can connect to this via Bluetooth somehow. Okay, so I've got really bad news, at least for me. For you shouldn't matter because I'm telling you and you have enough time to cancel getting one of these. It's in any way, it's not in any way better than the speakers in my TV. It's worse, way worse. And I think even the overall volume is worse than the speakers in my TV. The absolute only thing that has going for it is the fact that it's front firing. So it's firing its sound directly at you and not trying to bounce it off this type of wall, which spreads it in all directions. This TV had really good sound in another room when the wall behind it was just a flat wall, not this type. This destroys its sound, at least in the mid-range where the people's voices are. And I'm using Hdmi Arc's video to test this, because they on many sites, when they are recovering all sorts of machinery, they have lots of engine and equipment noise and people talking over them. So it's really hard to distinguish what people are talking. And yes, I've done all the possible settings from the TV, nothing more that I can do. So it's not about the TV settings, it's about what's behind it. I could potentially put something flat, but I don't think that will be enough. Anyway, the idea is that this is really weak. I've shown you maximum power consumption 15 watts. How are you outputting 30 watts of sound from that? That's not happening. This TV has, I think, 22 watts of power. So in theory, this TV outputs more audio power than this thing. We are not talking about decibels, pressure levels, whatever. No, just this is weak. This is really, really, really weak. And the only thing going for it, once again, front firing, and the speakers are really far apart at the corners, so it has good stereo definition. When this guy is going to your left and talking, you really feel that he's at your left. That's about it. But volume, it adds mids, so it gives you more mids for your news or something like that, but highs and lows, basically, they, in my opinion, they are not there. Lows, for sure, they are not there. Yeah, anyway. And another issue, tried to use it with Hdmi Arc, just not working with this particular TV. This is a 2015 model, so Arc wasn't that new at the moment, but it just isn't outputting in the same codec that this thing can understand. And believe me, I spent a lot of time, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 hours, I'm not even sure how much I spent on trying to make it work, just not working. It connects, but it simply outputs no sound. It shuts it off, it powers it on, but not outputting any sound whatsoever, and there's nothing that I can do about that. So that's a bit annoying. What else? Yeah, I've connected it to test it. I've connected it pure and simply like this is connected now with an audio. So that was, let me show you what I'm talking about. This was the only thing that made this thing actually work. From the headphones of the TV into this, and that thing talking by itself. And yeah, not worth it. It's going back, and I realized I already have this thing, and it seems that it's doing exactly the same thing as this, even adding more bass. This has more bass than this, if you can believe it, maximum volume, they are about similar. This is smaller, so the only downside to it is the stereo imaging spacing, because the speakers are closer, but the size of the speakers, they are the same as these ones. So yeah, having that, I'm going to use that for a fact, sending this thing back, and that's about it. Also, realized something else. I could not connect this to my TV via Wi-Fi because my TV needs Wi-Fi dongle. Ain't that cute? But then again, something else. Even if I get the Wi-Fi dongle, I cannot use in parallel the speakers in my TV and this thing. I need either speakers on the TV or this thing. And this thing by itself is crap. So the only way to make them work at the same time is by using one of these. And then, if you are using one of these, the headphone level does not adjust automatically from the remote of your TV when you adjust the level of the TV. You need to enter another menu to adjust the volume of this thing, or to use its own remote, so you are using two remotes. Nope, 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 nope. Don't get this thing. If you really need a soundbar, get a decent one, or don't get one at all, because it will just be wasted money. Or get one of these things. Honestly, use it as a soundbar via that kind of a cable, not an HDMI, and at least you can take it with you. It's portable, it has a built-in battery. It was 1/3 of the price of this thing, and basically for me at least does the same thing. So that's about it. I'm sorry, this is a kind of dude trust me video. I'm not going to try and give you sound experience, because it's not going to come across the audio of my phone. It's simply not going to. And I spent a lot of time listening to them because I don't want to bother returning this thing. So if I could find any way to use it, I would have used it. But no, it's simply pointless. I don't know why they built it. Maybe for 1-inch TVs with a mono speaker. I cannot understand what this can be better than. So anyway, that's about it for my video. I really hope I covered everything, because I was hoping this to be half decent and use it in my setup, but setup which is still in work. I didn't even take the protection off from the furniture. This is a new place, still in work. Look at the dust on my PC. It's gathering from still working around. Everything is going in. Yeah, rambling at this point. Hope this video helps you. Ask whatever you need in the comments, but I don't recommend you get this. Try to get a decent one, or if not, go for a portable speaker and use that as a soundbar, and you can take it with you, and at least it has a dual purpose. But this type of soundbars, the cheap ones with really small speakers, in my opinion, they are only good for news, and honestly not even that. So again, that's about it for this video. Hope it helps you, in which case please give it a like. Check out my other videos, and see you in the next one. I just wanted to, if you don't understand what I'm talking when I say front firing speakers and why they matter, if you have a side firing speaker on your mobile phone, just make a cup with your hand right next to that speaker, something like that, and you will hear the mids way better, because you are redirecting them from firing to the side. You are directing them towards you. So that's about what this would do. It would sound like the sound it's coming towards you, and not just coming from somewhere undefined and muddy. But it's much too weak. That's its problem. Not compatible with my TV. Yeah. Anyway, that's about it. Bye.